Welcome in, Chipola Nation. I'm Donnie Tyndall, head men's basketball coach here at Chipola College. I got the best freshman in junior college basketball sitting by me right here today. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his high school background, his experiences so far. We'll get into that a little bit. But Peanut, go ahead and tell our fans where you're from, where you went to high school, etc.
My name is Peyton Wiggins. My nickname is Peanut. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I went to Huffman High School. Uh, I'm the leading scorer there, scored 2,000 points. Freshman year, we went to state. 10th and 11th grade year to Elite 8. And my 12th grade year, we had a down year. But, yeah, that's a little about me.
Okay. And Huffman basketball, for those of you that don't know, has a storied tradition, a lot of great teams, a lot of great players. You're the leading scorer all time in the history of that school.
Yes, sir.
That says something. It says two things. Either you're pretty good or you shot a lot of bad balls. Which one is it?
I'm going to go with pretty good.
Maybe a little of both.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have Peanut here. And, when I was recruiting him, first thing his dad or maybe a high school coach had told me he goes by Peanut. So I don't know that I've ever really asked you how you got that nickname. So why don't you share with us, how did you get the nickname Peanut?
So a lot of folks might think it's because of my head. They might say I got a big head. But when I was born, my dad told me, they said I was real small. They said I was the size of a peanut. So he just took it and ran with it, and I love it. So.
Yeah. And then your name's Peyton, so it's just everyone calls you P or P for short for Peanut or Peyton, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know you said you had a good high school career, won a ton of games, played at a great high school program, had a lot of different schools recruiting you. I'll tell you the quick story our fans will remember. We had a guard here, All-American, named Greedy Williams, who's a heck of a player, starts at UNC Wilmington, went to the NCAA tournament last year. He led us to Hutch. Anyway, Greedy's dad, Brian's a friend of mine, was a great high school, college, and pro player, was a McDonald's All-American. And I'm sitting at my house one day last spring, my phone rings, it's Brian Williams, Greedy's dad. And he says, Coach, I got one for you. So he tells me about Peanut. He just saw him play at some event and was bragging about him as a kid and as a player. And really, I said, we're going to offer him sight unseen. If Brian Williams was to tell me a guy's good enough, Greedy said he's good enough, I know he's got to be a heck of a player. So it's just amazing how things can kind of unfold like that. And so when I called you and we started talking about setting up a visit, you decided to come visit the school, and then you get here, meet everybody, meet some players. What made you pick Chipola, P?
What made me pick Chipola is it's a family. They got a good background. Knowing where Coach Tyndall come from and all the things he's done for his players, it just really stood out to me. So it was like, why not? And then when I came on a visit, it's a pretty not a big town, but it's pretty calm. So had no problem with coming here.
Yeah, books and basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
That's our MO. We don't have a lot of nightlife, which is probably a good thing.
Right.
Don't have a huge shopping mall, which, I like to shop a little bit, so that's probably not a great thing, but it keeps guys focused, books and basketball. And speaking of that, this young man had over a 3.0, made the dean's list first semester, so averaging about 10 points a game, starting on our team, which is top 10, top 15 team in America. So he's doing it both in the classroom and on the court. Yes, and when you get here this summer, we start working out, probably a pretty little bit different pace than you're used to, right? Getting after it, going pretty hard. But what is maybe a surprise, good or bad, both from a basketball standpoint, P, and off the floor? Maybe it's the community, maybe it's school, whatever it might be. Surprised you a little bit.
I'll say off the court, the community, they real big on Chipola basketball team. Like the boosters, they always come out to games, practices, showing love to me and my teammates. So they really stood out to me.
Yeah. And what about on the floor? Anything surprise you at all?
Coming from high school to college, it was just different, Everything was more of a fast pace. The weight's different. My teammates, since first day, they came in and treated me like brothers. So we all just connected real fast, and I really like that about this team.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I know you got a lot of friends on the team. Who's your roommate?
My roommate, DeMarco.
DeMarco, oh boy. God bless you, son, right? Tell me this, and it may be DeMarco, but who's your favorite teammate and why?
My favorite teammate? That's a hard question. I love everybody, but my favorite one, I guess you could say Dowda. Me and Dowda, we connect.
He's a great kid, isn't he? And people say he's got quite the personality
Yeah.
when I'm not around, cracking jokes. And so tell me, why is it Dowda? Why are you guys so close?
Dowder, he just real funny, you know. Then he come from New York, so they accent like him and Snow is just real funny, you know. We always talking off the floor, on the floor. He just a cool person.
A lot of New York mumbo jumbo stuff, huh?
Yeah.
He's a great kid. That's cool. And I tell you, when you get around a group like this, it's amazing how quick guys really do become brothers. We talk about it being a brotherhood, and every time we break a huddle, we say family, right? But it really does become that way, and it seems like it's even more that way at this level in junior college, where there aren't a lot of other things going on, and you guys are at the dorm or you're at the gym and you're hanging out, and you just really do become very close. And I know all my other teams have stayed in touch. They've got group texts, which they have me a part of from 4 or 5 years ago. So the friends you're making now, trust me when I tell you, they'll be lifelong friends for you, man. It's pretty cool. All right, well, I always give a player a chance to ask me a question. Can't be anything too complex now, P, but is there anything you think maybe our fans would want to know that you could ask me?
I know you probably get this question a lot, but I'll say, like, how was the transition from coaching NBA and Division I to JUCO? Like, how was that transition?
Yeah, the NBA to junior college, or probably back to any college level, is quite a transition from the standpoint of it's nothing but basketball in the NBA. And a lot of those guys, G League, NBA, it doesn't really matter. They have family, they have children, they're grown men. So you're not really involved with their life outside of basketball. It's film, it's practice, it's game prep, it's playing the games, and then they go home and do their thing, and you go home and do your thing. So in one way, it's pretty nice in the NBA because all you do is basketball. So you're constantly game planning, watching film, which I love. But on the flip side, I really missed not being part of a young man's life off the floor and impacting them, in regard to what they're going to be someday, or maybe helping them make decisions of what they're going to do in regard to their education or a major or a career down the road. So I would say that's the biggest thing. You basketball only at the NBA level. You come back to college, and yeah, it's a ton of basketball because you're recruiting and all those things as well. But you get a chance to impact young guys like you and hopefully be an extension of people like your mom and dad. You were raised the right way, and most of our players have had a family member in their life that have really impacted them. But you get to kind of keep enforcing that or continue that down the road, if you will. So that's probably the biggest thing right there. And with that being said, talking about impactful people, who is maybe the most impactful person to you in your life thus far? Couldn't be a parent, family member, a high school coach, anybody at all, and tell our fans why that person, or maybe it's a couple people, are so important.
A couple people, I'll just say my mom and dad, but if I had to choose one, I'd definitely say my dad, just him being a great role model. A lot of people don't really grow up with a father impact, so him just saying that being in that role, in that position to just put me in the best situation I could be, I just had to be grateful for that.
Yeah, well, I've met them both. They're great people. And your dad's a principal, right?
Yes,
High
sir.
school principal.
Yes, sir.
So you've had some discipline before you even got to Coach DT,
Yes,
right? And Mom is a great lady. They both are very supportive, come to all our games. And, I know when I was going through the recruiting process with you, both your parents, when I was telling them about how we do it here with the tough love and guys are going to act right on and off the floor, they're going to be around other good people, etc. They were very, very encouraged and positive about that, and I know you've been raised that way to this point, so that's pretty cool to hear, and I'm sure they'll be tuning in and hitting the like button, right, Pete?
Yes, sir.
All right, last question for you. We've got a pretty good team. Give you an update on our team right now. We're 17-4, ranked 13th in the country. We're not doing quite as well in league play as we hope. We're off to a 1-2 start, but it's early. Still have 9 conference games left. Well, tell our fans maybe your individual goal or goals for the rest of this season, and then our team goal maybe that you have as we head down the stretch here in conference play.
Individual goals, I just want to win any award as a freshman, probably gain an offer at the end of the season, and that's about it for individual. And for the team goals, I just want to win. That's all I'm really focused on is winning, winning conference, winning state, and then at the end of the time win the national championship. So I just want us to win.
Yeah, well, you've won everywhere you've been, right, all through your high school career. Won in AAU, and we had a great non-conference slate and had a good win the other night against Tallahassee, who was ranked 9th in the country. So I think our team's slowly turning that corner.
Yeah.
I told these guys since June how good the conference is. All 5 of our teams in the Panhandle are ranked in the top 20 in the country. And so it is. It's a tough league, but it's exciting. Every night is a war, and as a coach, you love that. I know you as a player enjoy that as well. So our next game is tomorrow at Northwest Florida, another team that's ranked top 5 in the country. They're number 4 in the country, so it should be a heck of a game. It's a 4 o'clock tip-off over there, so if you get a chance, you want to come over to Niceville and support our team, we'd love to see you there. In the meantime, we'll continue to work away and keep you updated on our games, and we appreciate you tuning in. Go Indians.
Yes, sir.